Now, there are certain basic truths that I've been able to discover over the last several years. My business skyrocketed, and then all of a sudden, and that was just through ignorance on fire is better than knowledge on ice. And it was later on that I learned from Bert Jensen that correct knowledge applied is what will grow your empire. Anyways, he started mentoring me, and I've been introduced to many, many people. In fact, the information that I've got here, a lot of it came from people who have made 10 to 20 million dollars in the industry, and some of them were outside of our, noni, which we have a miracle fruit, and these guys made their fortunes in companies that had far less superior products. I have a training manual. It's called the SWAT manual, and one thing that I learned is that not a lot of people read the manuals, and then I started thinking, wait a minute. When you buy a cell phone or a mobile phone, it comes with this thick manual. But how many people do you know actually read the manual? I mean, I don't. I always look for that quick one-page start. How do I get this thing started and how do I make it work? And so what you're about to hear is that one-page starter manual. I call it the Mana SWAT system. Mana is one of the only words in the Polynesian language that actually has the same meaning in nearly all the islands. It means power or strength or miracle. And so this was developed to assist the Polynesians, as I'm half Samoan, in how to build the business more effectively and more simply. There's a few basic truths that I want to lay down before we go. And one of them is that people will join you because they know you, like you, and trust you. But sometimes they may not respect your business accolades, and that's the reason why we use third-party materials, hence the Show Me the Money DVD. Now, also, people want to know three things about a business, basically, and that's what is it, how much money can I make, and what do I need to do to make the money? Also, when you want to know how to build a business, Bill Gates is one of the most successful people in history, and he said the three keys to his success were, one, being at the right place at the right time, two, having a vision of where an industry is going, and three, taking immediate and massive action. And so I learned from Bert and others that more people know that they are broke than know that they're sick. In fact, Kevin Basgard told me that several years ago. And I had my friend Jack Zufelt on my conference call when I was doing a call with about 20 countries on the line. And he said, Ken, pretend I'm holding 4 bottles of Noni juice on my left hand. And it does all these amazing and wonderful things. And it's only $120 plus tax and shipping. Or in my right hand, I'm holding a $100 bill. He said, offer that to any of your friends, and which one will they take? Almost every time it'll be that $100 bill. One of the principles that I want to tell you is reason why we use 5 by 5. Pretend like this. Okay, here we go. We got 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 4 is 8, 2 times 8 is 16. If I tell you to talk to 2 people and teach the same, that's 16. Now let's assume we got $10 a person. Let's now go to threes. Instead of talking to 2 and teaching, let's go to 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 9 is 27. 3 times 27 is 81. Now, the difference between 16 and 81 is quite a bit. However, the real difference is only 1. Instead of talking to 2 and teaching the same, we're talking to 3 and teaching the same. Let's go to 4 by 4. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 16 is 64. 4 times 64 is 256. Now the difference between 16 and 256 is quite a bit. And if you're getting $10 a person, that means $160 versus $2,560. But the real difference is only 2. Now let's go to 5 by 5. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 25 is 125. 5 times 125 is 625. Now the difference is quite substantial. 16 versus 625, or in other words, at $10 a person, $160 or $6,250. But what's the real difference? Simply 3. We talked to 3 more people than we did before. Now, the reason why we stop at 5 is because the military, the governments, all of them agree that 5 is the most you can effectively work with. Now, we can go to 6 or 7 or 8 or 9, but 5 is the reason why we choose that. If it's good enough for the governments and the military, it's good enough for me. Now, with that in mind, let's have a look here on our page here. As you can see, I've got 5 circles there. And the first thing is when are you duplicated? When is your work duplicated? Well, if you see here, we've got you, then Hara, then Kingi, then Vai, and Dallas. Now, if you sponsor Hara on your first level, are you duplicated? No. If you teach Hara how to sponsor Kingi, are you duplicated? Most people say yes there, but no, you're not. It's when you can teach Hara how to teach Kingi how to get Vai to sponsor. And of course he sponsors Dallas. Then is when you're truly duplicated. And it's when you can teach the teacher how to do the job. Now let's have a look at this next section. At the top of the page, the top in our marketing plan is called Triple Diamond Pearl. There's other things out there, but Triple Diamond is the highest in the pay plan. We have Triple Diamond, Double Diamond, Diamond Pearl Elite, Diamond Pearl, Pearl, Jade, Coral, IPC. Now, what do you need to do to be a Triple Diamond? You need to have 5 personally sponsored pearls. So, what is a pearl? Well, it's basically 3 jades and 200 cases, or 2,400 or 24,000 in 6 levels. But here's the thing: a jade only requires for you to have 5 or 3 corals and the 40 cases in the old language. But if that's the case, and that means that's only 120 cases, you still have to move 80 more cases in order to reach the pearl status. And so all of a sudden you're starting to teach selling, how to get more product moved and all that. Unfortunately, 95% of the population do not like to sell. That's the reason why we don't. So I learned from a good friend of mine, John Bentley, and he said, can I teach 5? And the reason why is because if you have 5 jades, that means each jade has 40 cases. 5 times 40, that's 200 cases. So that's another reason why I teach 5. So if you want to be a pearl, we teach that you personally sponsor 5 jades. Now what's a jade? I keep to the 5 rhythm and I say 5 personally sponsored corals and 4,800 in QV6. So if jade is the key, then he or she who has the most jades wins. And if you can teach how to teach Kingy how to make jades, you've got the secret. Now here's the thing: how do we actually sponsor a coral? How do we actually move product? Well, it's simple. If you can get 5 people a week to watch the Show Me the Money DVD, in 10 weeks, you should become a jade. Especially if you remember, if you can teach this one how to teach that one how to do it. So if you can teach someone how to get 5 people a week to watch the DVD, then they should be at that jade position. And that's only assuming if they only had, out of the 5 people, that they only got 1 person that they sponsored. And they taught the same. Now, a lot of people then say, well, okay, how do I get 5 people a week to watch the DVD? Well, there's 2 ways, and this is on the skill set section. The best way, the absolute best way that you can do this is remembering that people will join you because they know you, like you, and trust you. And let's assume that we're going to talk to John. And you call up your friend John and you say, hey, John, I want to come over and show you something that I'm pretty excited about. Now, a lot of the times the people then come back to you and say, well, what is it? And we recommend that you don't engage them, okay? You don't engage them in product or knowledge and all that sort of stuff. The real reason that we're calling is simply money. So when they say, so what is it about? Well, it's about money. It's about making money. And you do not engage them. You try and secure an appointment, go over to their home, sit down, push play, and let the Show Me the Money DVD go to work for you. And we are finding that 3 out of 5 people, 4 out of 5 people, and even 5 out of 5 people are registering with the company when that tactic is used. Now let's assume that you're not able to set with them, and that there seems to be things not happening. Well, then if you want to get 5 people a week to watch the DVD, one of the simple ways to do that is that you add salt. Now the reason I use that is because you're familiar with the term, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. However, if you salt the heck out of their food, they're going to drink on their own. And so the way that you add that salt is we teach people to talk to 5 people a day about your business, and you use the step 1 of 3 CD, which is 10 minutes. And that right there doesn't talk about the company or the product. It strictly salts their food, makes them want a bit more. Now, the skill set that I use for that is this. You call up your friend or you see your friend and you say, and we'll use John as an example. Hey John, I want you to listen to this 10-minute CD on the way to work or school or home or wherever it is that they're going. Again, if they say, what is it? Simply say, it's about money. Now, all you've got to remember is that the more people in your organization that push play and watch that DVD, the more times people will start to get involved with the business or at least ask questions. I like to have a weekly meeting, but I like people to come to the meeting after they've been exposed. And the reason why is because a lot of the times that once they see the CD or the DVD, they just want a second look or a confirmation. And so that's what we recommend that you do. You have something that's local, but after they've seen the CD and the DVD, then the people that are in the looking zone are going to get in. If they're not in the looking zone, it doesn't matter how good you are. If they're not in the looking zone, they're not going to get in. Okay, here's the bottom line if you follow the Mana SWAT system. Basically, assuming that you remember to teach how to do the job, and let's say that you get 5 people a week to watch the DVD and you teach them to do the same, and we only get 1 out of the 5. This is what happens. In 10 weeks, you should be a Jade. In 15 weeks, if you only got 1 a week, that means in the first 5 weeks of those people's time, that's your 15th week. Guess what? 5 personally sponsored Jade, you're a Pearl. Now have a look at this. Their 15 weeks, which is your 20th week, all 5 of those guys that you started with and girls should be at the Pearl position. That's 5 personally sponsored Pearls. What is your title? You're Triple Diamond Pearl. You're at the top of the marketing plan. You now have everything in place. You have the right company, the right product, the right marketing plan, the right system with the Mana SWAT system. The only thing that's left is for you to know with all your heart what it is that you want, and you follow this program and you'll get it. We wish you all the success in the world. Take care.